Okay, so your liver is basically your body's filter. It's working overtime, especially if you're not living your best life. And naturally, supplement companies have thousands of products promising to fix it. I went through over 10 of these liver solutions, read the studies, looked at the dosages, checked if they actually do anything. The verdict? Most don't. They're expensive, they sound impressive, but the evidence is basically non-existent. Then I found 3 that are different. These actually have the research backing them up. These are the ones that might actually matter. So let me break down what I found. Okay, so before we jump into these 3 supplements, let's actually talk about what liver health even means. Because your liver? It's basically your body's filter. It cleans your blood, breaks down toxins, produces bile for digestion, and handles a ton of metabolic work. But when your liver gets clogged with fat, gets inflamed, or starts scarring, that's when you've got a problem. And that problem is called fatty liver disease, which currently affects about 1 in 3 people globally. Yeah, 1 in 3. So when we talk about supplements for liver health, we're basically asking, can this thing help the liver do its job better? Can it reduce the damage? Can it actually fix things? Now, what should a good liver supplement actually do? Here is what really matters. It should lower those liver enzyme markers, your ALT and AST. Think of those like warning lights on a dashboard. They tell you if your liver cells are getting damaged. A good supplement should bring those numbers down, and ideally, it should do this without requiring you to lose a ton of weight or completely overhaul your life. Because let's be honest, most people aren't going to do that anyway. So we're looking at 3 specific supplements today. Silymarin, which comes from milk thistle. Spirulina, that blue-green algae used for centuries. And vitamin E, probably the most famous antioxidant out there. Alright, let's start with Silymarin, the active compound in milk thistle. Researchers did a meta-analysis pooling 8 studies with over 600 patients, and here's what they found. Silymarin reduced ALT by about 15 units, and AST went down too. But here's the interesting part. The liver enzymes dropped without people losing weight. So it wasn't just they exercised more. The supplement seemed to be doing something directly. Now the catch, only 2 studies actually looked at liver tissue under a microscope. And the results? Mixed. One showed improvement in scarring, the other didn't show much. So we've got enzyme improvement, but we're not sure if the liver tissue is actually healing. It's like seeing your bank account balance go up without knowing if you actually spent less or just moved money around. Now let's talk about spirulina, this blue-green algae that's been around for centuries and somehow became a TikTok trend. Here's what the research shows. One study had 24 people take a high-dose spirulina extract for just 2 weeks. AST and ALT, those liver damage markers, both dropped. Pretty quick results for just 2 weeks. Another study went longer, 15 people over 6 months on regular spirulina powder. AST and ALT both dropped around 37 to 38%. Their insulin resistance improved, and they lost about 8% of body weight. So spirulina shows consistent enzyme improvements across both studies. The catch? In the longer study, people also lost weight. So we can't totally separate what spirulina did versus what the weight loss did. And like with Silymarin, we don't actually know if the liver tissue healed, just that the warning lights dimmed. But overall, the enzyme improvements were solid and consistent. Alright, we've looked at 2 supplements so far. Before we get to the last one, I've listed all the mentioned products down below in the description. Now, vitamin E. Here's the thing about vitamin E. It's the most rigorously studied of all 3. A meta-analysis looked at 8 different randomized controlled trials with over 1,000 people. And vitamin E didn't just reduce liver enzymes, it actually showed improvements in liver tissue under the microscope. Steatosis went down, inflammation decreased, hepatocyte ballooning improved. We're talking actual tissue healing, not just better numbers on a blood test. So here's the bottom line. You've got 3 supplements with actual research backing them. Silymarin, spirulina, and vitamin E. Taking any of these might actually help your liver. They're not miracle cures, but they're backed by genuine data, which honestly puts them ahead of most liver supplements out there. If this helped, smash that like button and subscribe for more research-backed health content that doesn't waste your time. Thanks for watching.